Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And we're live. And we're probably going to drink some bourbon.
Live. We got a couple people in the chat already. Non-bike riding, Dave Vogelsang is here. Steve Joes is here. John Matlick is here. And speaking of Steve Joes.
Well, we don't want to spoil the fun yet. And there's Bourbon School.
All right, Bourbon School. Brian is here. What's going on, Brian?
All right, Steve, you have to stick around because we're going to talk about you.
We're just going to dangle the carrot and make a... Well, are we going to drink anything right off the bat here? Or?
Well, eventually. I mean, it's a bourbon show.
Just to throw this out here, hey, Sugar Kitty's here. Still haven't done the new Sugar Kitty intro sound effect. I wonder if I can like hit this and then stop it. Hey, look at that.
Really?
Yeah, so you just hit it again.
What the hell?
Yeah, see?
Wow.
Technology. All right. So Steve Joes is here. Cool Running. What's going on? Cheers.
Cool Running.
This glass smells like whiskey because, truth be told, we filmed a couple of reviews before going live here.
But they weren't very good.
Yeah, well, yeah, they were excellent.
The whiskeys or the reviews.
Yeah. Well, the whiskeys were great. Yeah. I don't know how good the reviews are. You're going to have to be the judge of that 2 weeks from now. So prepping some we got some travel time coming up, the two of us, with schedules.
Different travel, thank you very much.
Yeah, so we had to film a little bit in advance. Brian Vaughn is here. What's going on, Brian Vaughn? So, and my last week or so has kind of sucked. It had some not feeling well issues, and so, yeah, I don't know if this live stream is going to go the full hour tonight or not. We'll see how it goes.
That's right.
So. All right. Well, let's get into something here.
Let's.
Okay, should we bring this in here?
Yeah, we might as well. Go ahead and explain it for the kids playing at home.
We do have, bam, this is Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. And, Chris Tatz is here. What's going on, Chris? And this came to us from Steve Joes. So, Steve, thank you so much for this bottle. That's just absolutely amazing.
It is absolutely.
Extremely generous of you to send this. I have never seen this in Minnesota. We got a sample of this from Baker Drinks and absolutely loved it.
It is great.
We set it aside, the rest of that sample, actually, because I think we were going to try to throw it into our Whiskey of the Year video that we never ended up doing.
Yeah, this last few months has actually been a little bit challenging.
It very much has. The last probably like 3 months.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes of this channel has been.
But we've missed a live stream or two, but we've had regular videos being released, which is admirable. So
yeah. Just checking something there. Gunnar L, what's going on? Love that pour. Yeah, this is a fantastic one. Tater Dom is in the house. So this one here is 131.9 proof.
Wow.
So the perfect thing for me right now is to have a 131.9 proof.
That's right.
Whiskey.
Tater Dom.
Why not, right?
Mikey Likey.
Mikey Likey Whiskey, is he in the house? There he is. What's up, Mike? All right. For those of you that have not had the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye.
Well, the bourbon is available in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. Do not buy it. Just let it sit there and the price to drop.
Leave it on the shelf.
Leave it alone, and eventually they'll put them on the discount cart.
Total Wine's selling that for $60 again. I mean, is there a better $60 pour?
I don't know.
Available? Yeah, I know it's not available everywhere.
128 to 133 proof range.
Yep. Usually ranges right about that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this rye is amazing. We do still have a little bit of that sample, so I'm thinking maybe we sip on this a little bit.
But they're single barrels.
They're single barrels, so we bust out the other one,
which is a different single barrel,
and compare the two. See what happens.
You want to make a double barrel?
Yeah, I suppose it probably would, wouldn't it? So anyway, kind of weird being here on a Thursday. I hope we're not stepping on someone else's live stream. I guess I didn't check. But, I mean, sometimes you just got to switch your schedule around.
That's right. Sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
This smells like, well, it actually smells a little bit cinnamony, which is a surprise.
It does, yeah. I'm noticing that too, right up front.
Definitely some vanilla. No surprise there.
Major G, what's up, Major?
Major. All right, I'm going for it.
Oh, Major G is going to drink the blend. He was one of the winners of the blend we did that one time on the live stream, and so I brought him the sample.
Dropped it. Yeah, because he's close by.
Yeah, so he's going to drink that tonight. I can't even remember what was in that. It was Elijah Craig 18 and I think like Stellum Rye, and there's two other ones.
This is excellent, by the way.
Yeah,
Like-
that's great on the nose. I haven't tasted it yet.
Excellent's not the right word. Okay, so there's some people in the chat. I have a serious question for you. What's a good way to describe a, let's just call it a top
Good Lord.
shelf whiskey / rye bourbon? Like, it's not like this is whiskey of the year kind of category.
Yeah, it is. That first sip was hot, which is weird because we just drank a fairly hot rye. But Sugar Kitty says, "Don't worry, Thursday only has 14 regular scheduled live streams. No overlap here." Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes things overlap. There's just no way of getting around.
You're just gonna have to buy another monitor.
Other people can, that are on other live streams can watch this one on the rebroadcast or vice
sure.
versa.
Yep.
But yeah, life gets in the way.
Top category, that would be feline. I don't know if I can refer to a whiskey as feline.
God, this is so good.
It is.
This is just an amazing. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to. Have you had the twice barreled that's even next level? We had the twice barreled single malt.
Right, but that's fairly different.
And I don't think we had the twice barreled rye. I initially thought that's what Troy and Laura sent us, but then I looked back at the review and it's a regular one. But I feel like we had the twice barreled rye at some point.
I thought it was the single malt, American single malt.
We did have that for sure. And
That's
that was
the only
from
one
Troy
I
and
really
Laura.
remember. But
Yeah, so no, I don't think we have had the twice barreled rye because I actually did look that up on the YouTube app. You can search just specifically our content. So if I want to see if we've already reviewed something. So yeah, no, we have not had that one yet.
this one's gone milk chocolate on me, which is a good thing. This is
That's what she said.
Shred word. What the shite is going on here? Yeah, it's a non-regularly scheduled. We're still on time though. It's not like we threw a Sunday afternoon live stream
that was
on
awesome.
like we did last time. That was awesome. That was fun. Old Pirate Bourbon is in the house. What's happening?
So is he a fan of old bourbon and he happens to be a pirate, or is he an old pirate who likes bourbon, or?
I think you've made that joke every time he's been in the chat. Let me see. Sure. Major G said the blend was Sagamore Spirit Double Oak, Elijah Craig 18, NASA Family Reserve, and Ezra Brooks Single Barrel Cask Strength. Okay. I think I killed that bottle of Ezra Brooks, didn't I?
It is such a good bottle.
I did. Yeah, that was a great bottle. So I'm glad I got that blend was pretty good. There's not a bad one in there.
Yeah, right.
I didn't really like the Sagamore Double Oak as much as everyone else seemed to, but I think we have to do this.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
I need a glass number 2.
So in the interest of science,
Which side are you putting it on?
I'm putting the full bottle on the right here.
Okay.
In the interest of science, we are comparing two single barrels.
Oh, now you've taken the lids off. Now they're confused.
This one goes on here.
Don't drop it
that
in.
right
Don't
inside
drop it in. If you've watched the channel, you know that sometimes we actually have mixed up the corks,
Yeah.
which is just
Difficult to do on this one.
Yeah.
Let's bust out the calculator here because I'm not going to do math live on the internet. What's the ABV on that? I think it says it on there.
Holy 3-point font. 67.95.
135.9. Holy.
And 131.9.
All right. Did I leave you enough of this?
265.8. 265.8. That is
So much proof here. This is going to be exciting. What do we do here? Oh, Peter White's here. What's going on, Peter? Okay, let's get into the nose.
the secondary one.
Try to rinse the glass as much as possible.
Yeah.
Get that dishwasher out of there. What are you guys all sipping on? Let us know in the chat. That's always fun to hear what everybody else is
This one's
drinking.
milk chocolatey, which is really interesting. I get that more on bourbons, I think, but anyway. This one I'm getting more cherry, oak spice, I would guess.
Definitely more oak on the Baker Drink
sample. Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, there's definitely I'm with you on the chocolate on this other one.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. There's definitely a difference here for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you can tell they're in
see
the
the
same ballpark, but all right, let's get into it.
Ballpark.
The what?
I said, we're not in a ballpark.
These whiskeys are. That's I'm gonna give you one of these for that stellar joke. Shredward sipping on some Michter's 10-year 2023. Nice.
Sorry for your loss.
John Matlick, good old pour of Wild Turkey 101. That's awesome. We have an amazing video coming up.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of Wild Turkey 101.
Is the bottle close by? You can share it, just like show it to the good folks watching.
Yeah. This is
explain. Like, get a hold of this. I did not know this existed on the planet.
Yeah. Well, apparently they still do. Mikey Likey Whiskey, who is in the chat right now, sent us this sample. Dusty bottle, Wild Turkey 101 from 1976.
1976.
And as you can see, half of it's gone because we did film a review of it. That will be coming out on Monday, I believe.
And all I can say is it's impressive.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
So the big question is it the decades in a glass bottle sitting in a basement somewhere, or was bourbon so much better back in 1976? And if so, why was nobody buying bourbon back then? Because it sat on the shelf.
I know, it's so good.
Yeah.
So Brian Vaughn is drinking water, but not for long. Non-bike riding Dave Vogel saying, Bubbler Triple Berry Sparkling Water. Okay, interesting. Nashville Single Barrel Strength 8-year rye store pick. I've never actually had any of the Nashville Barrel. I've seen them. They do have them around here. But
yeah, I've skipped them.
But I just haven't gotten, but I hear they're amazing. They're supposed to be really, really good. They're like $70, $70, $80.
Anybody besides their marketing department say that?
No, a lot of people on WhiskeyTube
Well, you can't trust them.
compare some of them to like Stag Juniors. Like they're
Wow.
some of the higher proof single barrels. I think when I first saw it, I just didn't know anything about it, and I just didn't want to roll the dice on an $80 bottle of something that I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And that's what WhiskeyTube is for, finding out if that stuff's any good.
Yeah.
Peter White's got Evan Williams single barrel. Hey, there's nothing wrong. Like as far as 86 proof bourbons go, Evan Williams single barrel is a solid pour.
I always like Evan Williams as a budget, kind of everyday kind of thing.
Let's see, John Matlick, 1976 Wild Turkey 101, vastly superior to today's. We were buying bourbon back then. The bourbon.
Wait,
yeah.
okay, so John.
I can't read that anymore.
That's fine.
So I'm just going to look at the thing.
So what John is saying, and I'm not calling John old, but he's probably closer to my age than some of these young kids, is that old bourbon was vastly superior. The style, the way that it was done, I think maybe it was aged, the way that the barrels were done. It's more mass-produced today.
Oh, he's a 1959 model. Okay. I think he actually said that in one of our...
So who do you model for?
Maker's BEP for OG Brick is in the house. What's going on? OG, did you ever open up that 10 Mocha Stave bottle? You got to let us know on that. So just to fill you guys in, the reason I said I can't read the chat anymore, I've had vertigo for like almost 2 weeks now.
It's such a good movie.
And yeah, it's a classic. Feeling all right tonight, but there we go. But still a little bit off, but I do find anytime I'm trying to read something on my phone or whatever, it starts to...
For me, it's the fast head movement to the side.
Yeah, it's that too, yeah. And so I figured pouring north of 130 proof bourbon on top of...
260.
I feel like it'll just even me out, actually.
Well, yeah, right.
So yeah, I'm doing all right, but when I'm trying to read the chat there, it's throwing me off a little bit. So I'm going to let Greg handle the chat for the most part here. These two ryes are freaking outstanding.
So between the pesticides and the non-GMO corn, you could be onto something there. OGD 114 from the 80s. Wow. That'd be awesome to try.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Is there an industry where people, I know that like you see occasionally like an estate sale or something like that, a bottler, old Eagle Rare, the old style, comes available.
I think there are places online that you can buy and sell old dusty bottles, but I'm sure there's a verification process
then you worry,
of some sort.
Is it like counterfeit and it's just basic, Jim Beam white label in an old bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you see bars and stuff like that. Like on Instagram, I've seen different bars that kind of specialize in old dusty bottles where you can go get like an old granddad from the 1960s or something like that. I imagine it costs you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, well, yeah, as long as it's someone else's arm and leg, I don't care.
William Ferguson is in the house.
William Ferguson.
shop that does that maybe in Nashville. It's so hard to not read the chat, and I have to stop doing it because it's making me dizzy. All right, I'm going to stick to these whiskeys. Entertain the internet, Greg.
So I'm getting milk chocolate on this bottle. Pretty prominent. It's really, really good. It's very nice and mellow.
Yeah.
But this sample here is very much in the cherry and wood spice category.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Definitely the wood spice. About 5 proof points higher. It's got some of that rye vanilla as well. You know, we tend to get, for the sweet notes on a rye vanilla tends to be a popular one that you and I tend to get.
Dan. Never heard of Dusty Dan. I will look up Dusty Dan.
You're going to have to read some of these comments out loud.
Okay. Oh, so Sugar Q said if you want to know about Dusty bottles, you need to have Dusty Dan on as a guest.
Okay. I'm familiar with Dusty Dan's bourbon reviews.
Okay. So that sounds cool.
Well, and that's kind of one of our things in the new year here when we get back onto our regular, better schedule of live streams. We want to start scheduling some guests.
Yeah, so a couple people are throwing Dusty Dan under the bus as a source.
Sure. Yeah, that's
OG
awesome.
Brick says that the quality of inputs has gone down. Definitely water, maybe.
Did OG answer whether or not he's cracked open that
I've not
10 stave?
seen an answer.
You got to get into that one, OG. Yeah, I would love to, if I were to ever take a vacation down to like, I know there's some places in Louisville.
Yeah, that bar's called Neat, by the way. There was a question.
Oh, okay. I know there's some bars that specialize in that, like I said.
Yeah, it's called Neat.
Oh, it is? Okay.
In Louisville.
Okay. I think if I went on a vacation there, I would probably plan ahead and literally set aside maybe like $500 to just experience old whiskeys.
I'd have to look at the menu online and get an idea.
Yeah.
You know, I'm willing to invest.
But I think I may roll in there with $500.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm saying like save up for it. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm going to go there next summer.
Sure.
Instead of just, I suppose you could just go spend the $500, but just take $20 and throw it in the bourbon fund here and there.
Sure, yeah.
And then just, you kind of have that as your separate little spending treat money. Mm-hmm. You know, instead of buying some new gadget or something that you and I tend to do a lot.
So what if you get like a 1968 Jim Beam, Frank Sinatra special, or like he had Jack Daniels.
More Jack Daniels.
Yeah, but some sort of something, and it turns out it's garbage.
Well, then but at least you get the experience of trying it. Because those are truly, like we said, spoiler alert, in the review of this Wild Turkey 101, like getting to try that.
That's a unicorn of unicorns.
Yeah, that was an actual experience, of being able to actually, have something from that era that obviously, well, like you said, it's a unicorn of unicorns. Yeah, Pappy Van Winkle's a unicorn, but they are out there if you're willing to spend the money. And apparently the 1976 Wild Turkey is too, I'm sure, somewhere, but how limited is that? There is
more limited.
There is a limited, like, they're not making that anymore,
Right.
And so, yeah, that was just...
It was kind of a cool thing because I had no idea that world existed, and so...
Oh, yeah.
Learning a little bit about it is awesome.
It's a whole thing. So I have to save a bottle of Evan Williams Black Label. And then 20, 30, 40 years from now, I'll be like, this is 2024 Evan Williams Black Label.
Whiskey Wars, welcome. So, okay, you recently...
Sean is in the house.
You recently had a pretty major event in your family, family history.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't here for the live stream last night. I was hanging out with my granddaughter.
So, have you set aside a bottle for her 21st birthday kind of thing?
I have not.
Have
and
you
I probably
thought about
should.
That?
Because hopefully she'll appreciate bourbon. She'll have a finely tuned palate for bourbon.
It seems reasonable to expect.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did kind of run that by, we talked about that in the live stream just before she was born.
Yeah.
Like, is there a bottle, maybe you get something special and then just hang on to it for 21 years?
I don't even know if it needs to be, special as much as, that's Wild Turkey 101, which is, we think it's great.
Yeah.
But the thing that's special about it is it's 40 years old.
Yeah.
And so I think if you set aside a maker's mark for that,
yeah,
had her
or like maybe a cool store pick
or something
that would
anything
be a little
with
original.
a birth year, like bottled date or whatever.
Yeah.
Any of those that is bottled in 2023, she was born.
Yep. That would be.
And then, save it for either 21st birthday or just, way down the road.
Sure.
Give it to our wedding or something like that.
Brian says they dipped bottles at Maker's Mark for their kids. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. So I'm running low on this pour. These are both fantastic. These are both Jack Daniel's single barrel proof ryes. One from Steve Joe's, who sent the entire bottle, which is incredibly generous.
Which is amazing.
And one from Baker Drinks. And they're both great, but they are a little bit different from each other. Get maybe one more sip out of this one to even it out.
Whoops. I didn't realize you were going to do this, so it's not going to be a 50-50.
Did you guys all just hear Greg say he didn't realize we were going to do a blend?
Yeah.
Have you seen this channel before?
Not in a while, to be honest with you.
You've been on every episode.
No, not
literally. Every public episode you have. I haven't, actually. You've been on more episodes of the Bourbon Note than I have.
No, you've done a lot of shorts and other stuff.
Well, shorts, yeah. I've never done a full episode.
Yeah, okay.
But when I was late getting home from vacation, you and Leah did a couple because we didn't have any.
Yeah, that was kind of a funny thing.
Stymie Snurdly, what's happening?
So Brian did a joke, and I was going to follow up, or he made a comment, and I was going to follow up with a funny joke, and that's what I was focused on.
Okay, gotcha. I'm focused on getting a chair.
Yeah, why don't you sit down?
Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, that's...
He said he dunked some bottles for his kids.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to say something about it's better than dunking your kids, but it wasn't as funny as I thought it was.
They never are, Greg. I don't know if...
But at least sometimes
I don't know if you know that about yourself.
At least sometimes I stop.
Now I look like a little kid standing.
Well,
that's okay.
Use your booster seat over there.
Yeah, I do have a booster seat. I probably should. So, I was watching Jason C. over on the Mash and Drum. Hey, Northwest Bourbon is here. What's going on, Mark?
NWB.
Jason C. got a hold of a sample of the new Old Forester 10-year. It's 1924. It's a new addition to the Whiskey Row.
I don't know this story.
Yeah, that's new. So
okay.
Now 1920, they've got 1924, and it's a 10-year age stated.
Wait a minute. 1910, 1920, that we've jokingly and you obscenely created in 1915. If you've never seen that video.
Yeah, you got to go watch that for sure. Do yourself a favor.
Valentine's Day video, I think.
Yeah, it was. Well, it kind of seemed Valentine's themed. What we need to do is just clip that intro and show it on a live stream.
Oh, that's actually funny. And there's a couple of intros that we've done that are kind of funny that we should drop.
We can probably actually bring it in and share the screen and just look it up on YouTube.
You could if you want, but
yeah, that was one of our better videos. We filmed a full-on sex scene between two bottles.
By we, totally him.
It was the 1915, so we blended the 1910 and 1920, and to show that we were blending them, I still have the ball gag and the dog collar from the one bottle.
Yes,
which was...
It was explicit between bottles.
Yes, it was. This blend is outstanding, by the way.
It is excellent. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely great.
So anyway, what I was getting at, I got excited when I saw that there was a new Old Forester, because I love Old Forester.
But what's the concept? 1924?
It's a throwback to something. If you watch Jason C's video, which is really good, he's got a great channel. He kind of goes into what it means, but it's kind of a throwback to a certain person or something.
Prohibition.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
No, it's during Prohibition.
It's a throwback to somebody who made whiskey for, I don't know, it's something like that. It's like a tribute or something.
I'm sure Sugar Kitty's about to drop in some knowledge.
Anyway, so here's the problem though.
Okay.
MSRP, $110.
Wow.
It's 100 proof, 10 year. Now,
is it special or is it just hard to find?
Well, that's the thing. I have a feeling it's supposed to be the new iteration of Whiskey Row. And apparently a couple of years ago, 1910 was hard to find. Yes. And now, they've been making it. And so I don't know if they've been making their stocks so they have enough to keep it on the shelves as a regular release. Okay. But even if they do, but $110?
Wait.
You got to read it.
You can't. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I can't read.
John Matlock says, hey, Bourbon Note, 1924.
I think it's
Matlick. Oh, I'm blind. So 1924 was the first time Brown Forester released a whiskey as Old Forester.
Brown Forester.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
I think he means Brown Foreman.
So it's a tribute to that. Sounds like the next JD 10 year. So that's what I'm getting at. We talked about this on a previous live stream. Everybody hates on Henry McKenna for being $60. You know, like, oh, I quit buying it when it got over $40 because it used to be so cheap.
But Whiskey Row used to be 60 at most. Some of them were cheaper. I mean, some were.
Well, right now they're like the most expensive one is around 60.
1910?
The 1920. 1910 is around. Well, the 1910 has actually gotten a little more expensive than 1920. That one's around 60 to 65.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody kind of, you know, shreds Henry McKenna for being $60 to $65.
One bourbon of the year.
It's a 10-year. I know, and if it hadn't won that, nobody would. Yeah. I think people are just hating on it because it's popular. Because it got popular.
Yep.
But it's a 10-year bottled in bond single barrel. But then, you know, you've got $35 10-year age stated stuff like Russell's Reserve, which is outstanding. And you've got Eagle Rare, which is great if you can find it.
It's 90 proof, but.
Yeah. And so to have the new Old Forester at $110 for 100 proof 10-year age stated, it's, come on.
And it's not a single barrel?
No.
That seems overpriced.
It does, yeah. I mean,
Old Forester's really good, but I'm curious to know more about it. But that does feel overpriced.
Yeah.
Unless it's some sort of unicorn, you know, that when you open the bottle, magic happens. Which
it could be.
Which I don't believe in, but.
Do you think that the 10-year 100 proof is going to be as good as these? And these are $100.
And
is it even possible?
And that's what, 127, 128?
132 proof.
Oh, that one? Okay.
0.8, yeah.
And, I mean, that legitimately could be the best whiskey I've had in 2 years.
Yeah, it's really good. I filmed a couple of things. Chris Hook, hey, what's happening, Chris? I filmed a couple of stores that eventually I'll release as a bourbon hunting video. But one of them had a whole shelf of the Old Forester single barrel barrel proof. I didn't buy one just because I'm going on vacation and I want to set some bourbon budget aside for maybe bottles that aren't available.
But they are starting, well, more than, for the last few months, they were actually available-ish in Minnesota. That
MGM pick, I was just at MGM 2 weeks ago and they still had one. I think they keep them in the back and they'll put one out every few weeks. So Brian, Bourbon School, Brian is probably cursing my name right now because those are his favorite. They're some of our favorites too.
It's my favorite too. I would say that's my favorite one of the year.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, they are starting to show up. Are you guys starting to see those a little bit more, the Old Forester single barrel proofs? Because there was a while that you never saw them, and now
years.
MGM had it.
Total Wine.
Did Total Wine have one?
Total Wine had a pick.
Okay. The one that I saw that was at a Coburn's. And then 1010 Washington.
Yep.
I've got that bottle up here. So yeah, those are starting to pop up a little bit. OG Brick, I saw a bottle of Heaven Hill bottle and bomb sitting on the shelf. Yeah, those are actually available now in Minnesota. I saw something, I screenshotted it. Somebody had wrote that the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond was like the best whiskey of the year or something. I was like, I haven't had it yet, but like that's not.
It's not.
I know Sean hates it.
Well,
so we've never had it because they just started selling it in Minnesota. But
I don't.
It's kind of like when they said Jack Daniel's Bonded was the whiskey of the year. Like Whiskey Advocate said that.
So I really like. I don't think it's whiskey of the year, but it's a good everyday pour. That I mean, I tend to keep a bottle of Jack Bonded.
Yeah, it's really good. But whiskey of the year?
Yeah, no.
Ryan Frank is here. What's happening? Congratulations, Grandpa Benny. Thanks, brother. Good to see you boys again. It's been a while. Yeah.
Howdy.
Rare Barrel is here. What's going on, Steve? So next week we won't have a live stream because of traveling.
Unless you want to do it from the alternate location.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
And then Hangin' AZ, what's up?
Hangin'.
And then, but the week after that,
I think
I'll be back. We'll commit to having a live stream, but you are traveling and getting back that day.
But I get back by noon. I think I'll be here.
Yeah. Either way, I'll try to make sure to get a live stream going on our regularly scheduled Wednesday
day
night.
And time.
Yeah, regularly scheduled day and time.
Yep.
So, do you want to sample something else next? Because the well has run dry.
How do you feel about revisiting the rabbit hole?
I don't know. That just sounds filthy.
That's what she said.
Say, how do you feel about revisiting the rabbit hole?
That's what she said.
There's something dirty in there. Come on.
No, like, we did a video recently. I don't know if it's been released yet. Probably not.
No, it hasn't. I mean, why are we doing this, though? Because we're just giving this a bad... We're going from Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye to a
I'm trying to
95 proof.
Yeah, I'm trying to step down in proof, not up.
Yeah, I know. It is a school night. You can only drink so much.
That's right.
Again, especially having vertigo for 2 weeks. Surprised I'm still on my feet at this point. Okay. So yeah, we got some other channels in the chat here, so we always like to call them out, get you guys to go like, comment, and subscribe. If any mods could throw some links. Are we in focus?
Sure.
I can't tell. My eyes are so bad right now.
I think it's pretty good.
But Whiskey Wars is here, Northwest Bourbon is here, Rare Barrel is here, Bourbon School is here. Who did I miss?
Bourbon
channels.
School, Chris Tats, Brian Vaughn.
But of bourbon channels,
actual
that they
channels,
can drop links.
Sugar Kitty.
I think that's all of them that are here right now. So yeah, go if you guys wouldn't mind.
Else, right close to the end. Hang in, Northwest.
We always like to get some links out there. Rare Barrel, fellow Minnesota channel.
Right.
I think they're approaching. I just went to go watch one of their videos the other day. I think they're.
There will be no poking. Thank you very much.
I have a wrench and drop all the links. Oh yeah, I don't know how to. I'll have to figure out how to do that, Mark, because we're on StreamYard, not YouTube. And so you can't do that through StreamYard, and we're so bad at that.
Let me.
Everybody who has a wrench got one like almost over a year ago, I think, and we haven't done anything with it since. Anyway, so Rare Barrel, I don't know if you guys hit 1,000 yet, but I think you were pretty damn close the last time I went to check your channel out. And that was a couple days ago, so go check them out and give them a subscribe. Let's see here.
So I could put Northwest in timeout, but I don't think I have the ability to give wrenches.
942. Rare Barrel is at 942 subscribers. For the love of God, go and subscribe. Let's get them to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So you get that first milestone, you know?
First milestone. Who is it?
Rare Barrel.
I don't know if I've ever seen a video.
Yeah, they do a good job. He's got some bourbon hunting videos and some reviews and guests on that like in studio.
And you say Minnesotan type
Yep.
person, huh?
Bourbon Drop. Myron is in the house. What's happening, Myron?
You have 943, and now you have Bing 944.
Yep, there you go. And they're from Minnesota. He lives down in Plymouth.
Plymouth.
Yeah, so we could actually get together and do an in-person collab sometime. I would love to do that, Steve. Just subscribe, going to check out after we get done. All right, Major G is a new subscriber. That's awesome. All right, everybody in the chat, get over there. Let's make this 1,000 happen.
Myron. Oh, there. No.
Yeah, Myron's here.
Did he show up?
Yep.
I missed him.
Bourbon Drop. Yeah, it's up there. So yeah.
It's always great to have a good pour whiskey, and I just wish this was.
Is it? I have a feeling that we reviewed this and we weren't expecting a whole lot out of it. The review's not out yet, but it'll come out.
It's
a decent kind of middle of the road rye, but you can't put it after.
It's unfair. Like right now, I'd probably prefer Lemon Pledge at this point.
Oh, hey, by the way, speaking of subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and assume that everybody who's in the live right now is a subscriber. But for those of you that are watching on the rebroadcast, and I'm assuming you're probably not still watching, but 2,819. So we're less than 200 away from the 3,000 mark.
3K.
So let's share the bourbon note with somebody that you don't like.
That's right.
Say, here, let's collab soon for sure, Steve. We got a busy couple weeks here, but yeah, once
totally.
everything settles down, that would be a lot of fun. I really think we should get together and do that for sure. If nothing else, we could even, if we don't do it in person, we could get together on
This is
just a live stream like we do. We want to start having more guests on, other channels and guests and stuff like that.
I got it.
We got the link to Bourbon Drop in there too, so go check out Bourbon Drop.
We could meet in Medina and invent something called Bourbon in the Park. I don't know if there's a park in Medina, but there's so much we could do.
I don't know if there's a park in. We could meet in Hamilton, as I call it.
Hamilton?
Yeah. That is trademark Ben Walker. 3K not bad for the channel nobody asked for. Yes! Now that's a guy who knows our channels.
That's right.
It's been a long time since I've said that. So Steve Joes is a ride or die Bourbon Note viewer. If I had a channel, you always create a drinking game for every time I said, no, I didn't even plan that, but I actually, when I'm editing videos, sometimes I try to edit my ums out because they're just terrible.
So
First
Mike,
time
I've met you. I think you can hold your own.
Yeah. Justin Hilty.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, yeah, okay. That's blurry. It looks like there was an L in there. First time catching a stream. Great time, boys. Well, hey, thank you, Justin. Thanks for joining. That's awesome.
Hey, I'll be there in 2 weeks if you want to hang out.
First time, beware.
Virginia. I know him.
Oh, you know Justin. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I was going to say, all right, Greg, getting weird. Starting to arrange meetups with strange men in the chat. I'm not here to judge. You do you. I'm just saying, be careful. Let's see. We have an undefeated trivia champ that will take on all. Yes. And then he says, comers that will take on all comers. Brian, boy, you need to.
Punctuation is your friend.
Yeah. It sure is. Let's see. I cheat in trivia. I keep a separate page open with Google. OG Brick. Okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll just have to remember that if you're ever on Whiskey Trivia Night in America.
That's right.
So this rabbit hole really isn't bad. It's obviously weaker compared to that. But I will say this. Considering what we just came from in this, I think this is actually. I was expecting this to drop off a cliff and be like water and just terrible. It's surprisingly better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, it's gotten better than the lemon pledge that I assumed. But
yeah, for sure. Phrasing, yeah. Meet up with strangers in random states isn't weird. That's okay. That's true. I mean, it's okay to tell people what you want.
So here's the story. I used to work with him, except he quit, and he's now with a new company. But I still know him. And he's watched a number of our videos, but I don't think he's ever watched a live stream, so that's all
okay. Yeah.
So He's a cool dude.
Mike says, "Careful, Justin. That's how it starts. If you know, you know." That's awesome. Yeah, this isn't bad, but we do have a review coming out about this too. So let's not say too much. We want to keep the allure, of the suspense,
of the rabbit.
Yeah, we had to film because of I'm traveling this coming week. Greg's traveling the following week. We had to get a bunch of stuff filmed. So we've got a bunch of stuff ready to come out. For our Patreon supporters, I know we forgot to post this last video early. We always post those a day early. My bad, I forgot to tell Greg it was done. I have those all uploaded, so you're just going to have to remember to do that. And if he forgets to do that, it's greg@thebourbonnote.com. Or you can just write hate mail to thebourbonnote@gmail.com, because I would like to read the hate mail that you guys send Greg.
I'll try to keep them posted.
Yeah. It's good to have a mutual thing, because then that way I know when Greg's sending pictures of his feet out to random viewers.
Which I've never done in my life.
Only for Patreon.
Don't even understand that
concept. If you want to see pictures of Greg's feet, go to patreon.com/thebourbonnote.
There's not a category expensive enough for that one, I think.
15 creepy people just subscribe to the... We do have a Patreon for real, so if you're interested in that, you can do that for $3 a month. And you get... there's 2 more blending videos coming out that are already posted, but they're not released yet.
Okay.
So one will come out tomorrow, and then one the following Friday. That's when I bust out the wheel, put my whole bourbon collection on there, spin it to find out how many bourbons are blending, and then which ones they're going to be. So it's always a random blend of
some of the blends are awesome.
Yeah, and some of them are terrible. OG Brick, thank you for posting the Patreon link. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So yeah, the 2 that are coming out, I will say one is amazing and one's terrible. So you get to a little bit of each in the next 2 weeks. So we're probably due for a Patreon-only live. I know we've said that a couple times in our
we
lives,
probably should.
It's hard to explain how off our schedule has been since November. Or even a little bit pre-November. It has been chaos. We're keeping the videos coming out at regular, but I think I went a month without seeing you at all in that time, and then probably the last couple weeks, and we lived literally directly across the street from each other.
Yeah.
So it's been just wild. So some of it good, some of it bad, but all ended up being good.
Mike,
and
this is Mike.
Mike Duran, 30, first time catching a live stream. This got weird. Feet and bourbon.
Yeah, so...
that's feet and bourbon. If somebody doesn't start a channel, that is $1 million idea right there.
We'll let you have that one there, Mike. But more importantly...
Feet and bourbon. Mike, let me know if you're going to trademark that, because if you don't, I will.
But more importantly, Mike, are you from Sacramento?
By the way, speaking of amazing names for channels, I've been meaning to call this channel out that I subscribe to. The name of the channel, it's a bourbon review channel.
Okay.
The name of the channel is Hard Corn Pour. And at first, it was just like, okay, I see what he did there. So John's like, oh, corn, pour, so bourbon, corn. Yeah, absolutely brilliant channel name. And a good channel, too, so go check out Hard Corn Pour. That was one of those ones where I saw that and I was like, God damn, I wish I'd thought of that. That is just brilliant.
I don't know if I could sign up for that one, but it's...
He's got a good channel, so yeah, check that one out.
You don't want to stumble as you pronounce it, though.
Oh, Mike's from Minnesota. Okay.
Who?
Mike Duran, 30, who he just asked if he was from Sacramento. He
that
also
was...
said it was his first time joining a stream, so he probably doesn't get that joke.
So there's two Mikes in a row, and I know that one of the Mikes is not from Minnesota. He was kicked out of Minnesota, and he's not allowed back in.
Was he banished to Wisconsin? Is that what it was?
He's a Wisconsinite.
Yeah. So naturally, we have to make fun of him. So...
Minnesota, eh?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always good to get more Minnesota folks in here, in the chat. So that way, if we ever maybe do some sort of event or something like that, or even just like a meetup, do like a little bourbon note.
Well, you were saying you wanted to rent out US Bank Stadium and with all of our fans coming.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, absolutely. There's probably enough.
Yeah,
I think we're
getting close
with our almost 3,000 subscribers. Standing room only at US Bank Stadium. And here, it's playoff season, so US Bank Stadium's got nothing else going on in it.
It's empty, and you get a discount right now.
Hey, you know what? We went through 4 quarterbacks this season, so I'm not going to hold it against them this time. Aiden is in the house. Another Minnesota D's. There are some great gems hidden in 2 bottles, one each of Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof and Barrel Proof Rye. Let's see, these chat's moving a little bit. Doing different ratios of the 2 are amazing if you like Jack. Yeah, the blend of... We actually did when we first reviewed, and I think we were the first people on WhiskeyTube to do this, if not the only ones. And this is before we kind of started the whole blending thing that we do on our channel.
We've been doing that a lot.
Right, but the first time I think that we did it was when the Jack Daniel's Triple Mash and Bonded first came out.
Oh, it was at the same time.
We did a review of the 2 of them, and then we blended the 2 of them together.
Which was an abomination, and it turned out great.
Yeah, it was really good, and I think we've actually been doing that probably ever since that video.
Yeah, John's also a Wisconsinite.
Oh, okay. Not from Minnesota, his brother graduated. St. Olaf, okay, sweet. Does that count? I don't know if it counts, but... Mikey Likey Whiskey, originally a Minnesotan, and you grad. Okay, but migrated to the land of cheese. Yeah. I mean, it's... Minnesota and Wisconsin, I think, have a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
Not within their football teams. That's a genuine hatred to the bone.
Does Minnesota have a football team?
He didn't grow up here.
I'm not from Minnesota. And
he didn't grow up with the pain and the scars that I have. So 45 years of being a Minnesota Viking fan.
Whoever nerdly, we just had winter start literally this week.
Yeah, but this is a weird year. So
you're a weird year.
It was an outstanding comeback. I mean, so Stymie Snurly, is it true that winter is 7 months long up there? It depends. It's not 7 months, but it can be like this year is kind of a weird year. We've had brown Christmases. They do happen. They're not terribly common, but there's been a few in the last 10 years.
It's an unfortunate modifier.
But this year we didn't get snow until New Year's Day, and then until New Year's Eve actually is when we finally got snow on the ground, and the lakes were still open. That I have not seen.
Right.
I can't remember a time of seeing that. There were people out water skiing in January.
Being dumb, but yeah.
Wisconsin is real, like Grand Theft Auto. True Minnesota football fans love to suffer. Yes, we do, Major. But I mean, we do get winters where they go from November until mid-April. We're still getting blizzards.
Yep.
So it just depends. It's almost like the last handful of years. I feel like winter starts later, but then lasts later. Like it's almost like the season kind of shifts. But November, December, January, February.
And the truth of the matter is, I work from home. I almost never leave the house other than to walk across the street and film reviews.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store, which is not very far away at all.
Yep.
So I don't care that much.
It's a brown Christmas when Cousin Eddie comes to visit with the RV.
Yeah, I was.
Shitter was full. OG, brilliant. Yes. San Francisco has had many a brown Christmas. That's what they say on the news.
Oh, here he's bragging because
I was actually just in San Francisco.
He's from San Diego.
I was just in San Francisco a couple of years ago, and I didn't see anything bad. San Francisco's got the reputation now of rampant crime and homelessness, and I'm sure that in certain areas it is, but I didn't see it. Dan was just out there a week ago because his work actually is based in Vacaville.
No way.
Yeah, so he was out doing business in Vacaville. I was like, that's where Greg's from.
I used to live there.
And he went to San Francisco too. He's like, I was kind of expecting it to be much worse, but it was.
Well, they just cleaned it up recently.
Well, that's true.
And
yeah.
so I don't know if it's gotten back to where it used to be, but yeah, I've seen some pretty rough places.
Aside from that, is there a cooler city than San Francisco? Is there a more beautiful,
so in the 80s and 90s,
city?
As a teenager, Christian kid with a church group going to San Francisco and just hang out for the day?
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, San Francisco is just...
Yeah.
That city, it's unfortunate if it is that bad because that's one of those places that should be just kept pristine because it is stunningly beautiful city.
Yep. And cool. Weird.
Yeah.
So, it's been weird for decades.
A lot of cool places to go visit.
Yeah.
And it's a place you can fly into and you can drive a couple hours in any direction and
see so much.
And something is amazing. Yeah. So this live stream brought to you by the San Francisco Tourism Bureau. Has anyone else had Traveler yet? The most disappointed I've been in a release. I haven't. Mike, is that one? I know that's the new. Are we in focus, or is that just my eyes? Okay.
Yeah.
I know that's from Buffalo Trace in collaboration with Chris Stapleton
And Weller, right? Is it a Weller?
Well, they did release.
And who's Chris Stapleton?
He's a singer, country, but not like bullshit pop country, like good, like soulful.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's on Tennessee Whiskey. Ever heard that?
Maybe.
Oh, Jesus, it's going so fast. But so they did it in collaboration with him. They did release a different Weller this past summer. That was like $500 a bottle.
Crazy.
I don't know how much the Traveler is.
I've seen it for several $100s on the Instagram, and that's just ridiculous.
Right. So I don't know if that's allocated or if that's supposed to be.
I think it's allocated. Yeah.
Okay. So Mike, if you could throw in some details on that.
But
Oh, it's Sazerac plus Canadian whiskey blend.
Oh, it's not even a bourbon. It's just a Canadian. It's high class. Caribou.
Oh, okay. So Aiden, you're kind of in the know on a lot of bottles. Is that an available release? Like, is that something that you say it's? So Aiden said Traveler is blend of young Barton and Canadian light whiskey at 90 proof for $50. I'd bite on that for $50.
So I've seen people post pictures of prices of several hundred, like $350.
Yeah. Well, technically, Stag Junior is $50, but good luck finding it for that.
I mean, if it's really for $50 at 90 proof, I'd maybe try it. But if it's obscenely overpriced and it's only a 90 proof young Canadian rye,
I'm not paying any. I would pay $50 for it, and that's about it.
Yeah, I felt cheated by Caribou Crossing.
Caribou Crossing is the stupidest. The fact that that's actually a trend and
It's the bottle.
sought after bottle.
It's the bottle. Nothing inside that bottle.
Caribou Crossing is a 3-year 80 proof whiskey.
Yeah.
You're getting, I mean, the fact that that's sold for any more than $20 a bottle. I know proof and age aren't everything, but they do make a huge difference in the quality of the whiskey.
And it's not even like they're
You can
better.
get Evan Williams Black Label is $15, and it's way better than Caribou Crossing.
Basil
Caribou
Hayden's
Crossing
better than
sucks.
that. And I know it's a bourbon, but usually, but yeah.
I wouldn't touch it for anything over $15. Are you talking about the Traveler, Aiden?
Traveler? Wow. 'Cause I've seen. Huh. The Traveler, is there more than one Traveler? I thought I had 2 L's. And
Oh, non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang got a Traveler for 38. So maybe it is. Maybe it is a regular release because it sounds like people are having access to it. Smells medicinal, sharp butterscotch, almost no palate. Have to really sit with it, get a hint of cherry, 0 oak finish, sweet and young. I have 3 out of 10. Okay.
I'm assuming you're talking about the Traveler. But
Yeah.
Huh.
It's literally just Young, Barton, and Canadian Club.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
horrible. And
Yeah,
not,
I don't-
not that there's anything wrong with Barton and Canadian Club, but yeah, just a young. But I've seen it way overpriced then.
For the purpose of reviewing it on the channel, I would maybe buy it for $50.
For $40,
but now,
sure.
with what Aiden's saying, maybe I wouldn't. I mean,
If it's a young,
I tend to trust Aiden's advice on bottles, and
yeah.
but sometimes you pay more for a bottle, like just out of the curiosity of trying it. You know, I don't buy secondary stuff, but sometimes like, yeah, it's $50. I may not like this, but I just want to try it.
Well, we
We'll get a
absolutely
re-
take. I mean,
we'll
I
get a
bought
review
this
out
the
of
other
it.
day and took a chance, and it's okay.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take a chance.
Yeah. It's such a good song. You like ABBA?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody likes ABBA. I bet Sean's still here. He's a big ABBA fan.
Yeah, for sure. Got a bottle for $39 in the liquor store. Has cases of it sitting on the floor.
That's
Okay.
amazing. I thought that was like a unicorn of unicorns.
Oh wow. Okay, so a 175 of Canadian Club is $15, and that's half of what is in. Really? So Canadian Club is the Canadian portion of the, or it's Canadian light whiskey. So Canadian Club is Canadian light whiskey. The $500 bottle of Weller was said to be like drinking water.
What was that called, by the way, OG?
It was called like Daniel Weller or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was a really cool looking bottle, but a bit different. Weird.
But $500. There has been a trend lately of these new
Obscenely
releases that are
overpriced.
coming out, and now they're starting to be obscenely expensive at MSRP.
Yes.
Which is concerning.
No bad Greg.
No, he's not a Weller.
Take a chance
or,
on
an ABBA
me.
fan. Daniel Weller.
Come on,
yes.
take a chance. That was an ABBA reference.
There you go. Yeah, it's like,
You know, they need to do a Daniel Boone whiskey. There probably is one.
I think there is one actually. I'm pretty sure there is.
I think there is one. Comes with a little hat.
It's not literally Canadian Club, but it's a Canadian light whiskey, so pick your cheap plastic Canadian jug. Okay.
All right. Oh, we did a review once. What was the Canadian that we did? It was. What's the cheap? I don't remember what it was called.
I don't know, Greg, how many Canadians have you done?
No, whiskey. Yeah, schmuck.
Well, the more disturbing part was that what was the Canadian we did? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't remember this at all.
No, whatever that. Was Seagram's?
We had Yukon Jack, and then we had Windsor.
Windsor
Yeah.
Canadian. That's what it was. And it was a little bottle, and it was like $1.
Yeah.
And it was rough. It was.
Yeah, that was when we used to do Whatever Wednesdays
Yeah.
before we were doing live streams. We just drink random stuff. We drink it neat, so we drink some Windsor.
And it probably isn't
God.
intended to be like drank, neat Windsor, but we tried it.
Yeah. So what I was getting at though is like the new bottles, like Wild Turkey just released one that was like a legacy bottle. It's supposed to be a collab between Jimmy, Eddie, and Eddie's kid, Bruce. But I mean, they're selling that for $500, MSRP or $400 or whatever. It's like
They're just trying to ride the wave of the bourbon thing, and
I think people are wising. I mean, people are always still going to buy it. I get that. Some people just have the money that But I mean, even they're so rare and they're already $500 at MSRP, so they're probably a couple thousand on the secondary. And I've gotten to the point with bourbon where the fact that I'm starting to see the Old Forester single barrel proofs back on the shelves, finally saw Four Roses single barrel store pick. If I start seeing stuff like that getting back on the shelves, I'm a happy guy.
And some of the Lux Row higher proof stuff.
Yeah, is really good.
There are so many really good things that are in the $50 to $75.
Yep.
That you just don't need to like risk it on a $500. I mean, to be honest, I would like to own the Wild Turkey Generations because it's kind of, you know, it's a Jimmy Russell thing. I'd love to own it just to own it.
OG says, God bless them for it. People are acting stupid over this. They should take advantage. I mean, yeah, you're right. You know, capitalism. I mean, if they're putting it out there and people will buy it,
yeah,
why not? I guess, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they have the right to do it, and I don't blame them for that. I'm just not going to chase because there's so many good bourbons at $75 or less, even less.
When Sean says there's no reason to spend that much on any bottle, there's no way you won't be disappointed. I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean,
$500. Other than the Generations by Wild Turkey, that's the only one because I genuinely think Jimmy Russell, Eddie Russell, and that family has really done a ton for the industry that I really like.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's more of like a collector thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you're not spending it because you think it's going to drink at $500.
No, not at all.
Because the bottle means something to you.
It's the box, the bottle, and so
RJ the Fed is here. Let's drop a link for RJ's channel. Go catch him shirtless over on his channel. Sometimes shirtless. Or maybe that was just this couple times in the live streams, but I just always associate RJ with being shirtless now. So, yeah, if we could drop a link to RJ's channel, that would be awesome. So check out him.
OG, you're not wrong, and I'm looking forward to it because I think we could stand to lose a little bit of the enthusiasm for bourbon.
I'll be in Mexico for 1 day next week, and I don't really have much going on, so...
Okay.
So what are some like rare tequilas that I think OG actually gave me some advice in getting a tequila.
Anything in a ceramic bottle, like an actual like ceramic bottle, I think would be good.
Okay. Those weird, ugly white bottles with the blue paint.
So Snurdly, totally agree. That's where I'm going with this. I would like to see a little bit of the enthusiasm in bourbon slow down just a touch, not die completely, but.
Well, I think it would be awesome because I'm not in this for the hype. When I got into collecting bourbon, I truly did not know collecting bourbon was a thing. Greg and I are the kind of people that when we get into a hobby, we really get into it. We're both like that.
And we said at that time, this was like 4 years ago now, there's not a single bourbon, other than a couple of weird ones, that cost more than $100.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so yeah, the Pappy is a little bit old, you know, a couple $100 and you really can't get it. But otherwise, everything else is fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, and
totally
now everything's
available.
getting to be...
And it's become this obsession and like, yeah, the industry's really changed and not all for the better, I think.
I'm going to take a picture of the screen. This is my best way of being able to remember what this bottle is that OG's recommending.
If you could just send him an email at...
Well, here, no, I got it, because now I'll have this with me on vacation.
It's going to move.
Got it.
Okay.
Fortella Zea. I don't know if I'm going to get to any liquor stores, but I think I don't really have much going on that day.
Okay.
I don't think we have anything planned. So.
White and blue. There's stripes, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought those were folks that are into weird stuff. I mean, yeah. Could be. It's a dual use bottle.
What?
Don't buy...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm well aware of that. It's probably for the better.
Okay, well, I'll leave that alone.
Don't buy, let's see, what did Aiden say here? Don't buy Class Azul or Casamigos or any celebrity tequila that isn't Código, okay?
So, Aiden, let me ask you a question. Is there a single celebrity bourbon that's any good at all? Because my opinion is celebrity stuff is no bueno.
So, Aiden, you said Fortella Zea isn't sold in Minnesota. Save your time. What do you mean by that? Like,
because he's going to another country next week, in the next few days.
Eric Mays, 4G Tequila. Welcome, Eric. Thanks for being here.
4G. So you connect your phone to that? How does that work? Or is that really expensive tequila?
Yeah, it could be. An agave topper. It's allocated. Fortezela Blanco is $60 MSRP.
Well, that sounds really good.
Heaven's Door is fine. Did we miss something in the chat?
Yeah, I just asked him about celebrity whiskeys.
Oh, the Heaven's Door store picks are great, I think.
But not Homesick Blues, the Minnesota one.
Yeah. Fortaleza. Fortaleza. Okay.
Zycote. Zycote.
Blanco, Añejo, and Reposado. Okay.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to take a picture of that too. I'm not going to be at the airport. It's a stop on a cruise. That's why I'm only going to be there for the day. But this is good to have this information. Thank you for this. Again, if I go, but there will be a duty free at the cruise port, so they might have some interesting tequilas.
And sometimes they have cool bourbons too.
Sometimes the last handful of times I've checked, it's been like 1792 small batch and Town Branch. Like they haven't had anything.
Well, they'll always have a Jack Daniels of some sort.
Yeah, some sort of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
But honestly, the prices weren't any better than at home. Some of them were actually higher.
Yeah, not great.
At the duty free.
So I traveled not too long ago, but I wasn't traveling international. So I looked at the airport, but I wasn't allowed to buy, and there was nothing worth buying at that point.
Make sure I got this right. Okay, got it right. All right, well, we've gone about an hour. I've managed to stay on my feet, which is good.
Yeah, it's been an hour.
Proud of myself for that. But let's wrap this up. Let's see. When you're in Mexico, you will encounter tequilas I've never heard of. I'm sure, yeah, and that's the thing. I know nothing about tequila. So the last time I was down there, we went to like a liquor store, and it was all tequila, and the guy was giving like a presentation about tequila, and I kind of overheard it a little bit, but I wasn't like part of the group, so I didn't want to just like meander I think it was a tour, so I wasn't going to like meander my way into it. But
do you know are there restrictions? Like, are you allowed 1 bottle or 3 bottles or?
That I have no idea. I will have to check it back in on the ship, but
otherwise you're gonna have to invent some sort of multi-personality disorder or something like that, so that you can.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Well, tell them you're like 3 people. Like you check one in, then go out, and then get another bottle. And
come back in disguise and bring a fake mustache. I'll bring Bobby's mustache.
Got a real mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Or no, just walk up and be like, "Sir, you can only have 1 bottle." I was like, "Yes, but I am 3 people."
That's right.
I wonder if that would work.
In
this day and age, who knows? I know where you were going.
I was going to say something, and I'm not going to say it.
Let's keep it neutral and get the hell out of here. All right. Well, thank you guys very, very much. No limitations, duty-free bottles. Can't speak for local shops. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, thank you guys very, very much for joining the live stream tonight. Check out the Patreon if you're interested. We got some bonus content for the next couple weeks on there, blending videos. You get the videos a day early. Once we get our schedules back, we'll get a Patreon-only live stream going on.
And we have got to do a cigar blend versus cigar actual thing in the garage.
And the other thing that we're going to do coming up here, and I'm going to say this publicly so we remember to do it. A long time ago, one of the things we did on our Patreon just for fun was when we got together to film reviews, we actually live streamed us filming reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Not from the camera that we filmed the reviews with. We set up a camera on the other side of the room.
Okay.
And just for the hell of it, just so people, if they wanted to just watch and see how our filming process is or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's all live, so you can watch us live doing our reviews that come out for the next couple weeks or whatever, because we tend to batch them. So I think we're going to do that again, because that might be kind of fun now that we've got more Patreon subscribers.
Sure.
So, we'll set up a camera right over here, and we'll do our normal reviews, but you guys can watch as we film them, and you can see all the stuff that we screw up and whatnot. So
that's right.
All right. Well, Troy and Lisa Toole just got here, but we're just about to sign up. Well, maybe they've been here all along.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
Welcome to the chat. Eric Mays, cheers. All right, everybody.
Cheers all.
Have a great night. Check out the review tomorrow. Oh, no, it's Thursday, so it came out today. Old Tub came out today, so go check that out. Send us out of here, Greg.
All right, until next time. See you next time.